Hi there, welcome to Futurelooks. I'm Eric. We're going to take a look at MSI's P67A-GD80 motherboard. This is a B3 revision, which sports the all-new chipset, free of any SATA issues, SATA 3 gigabit per second issues that may have occurred. This is in support of Sandy Bridge processors. That's an LGA 1155 socket. So we're going to unbox it for you and give you a look. Again, this board is supportive of the LGA 1155 Sandy Bridge processors. These are the ones that are out there that everybody's picking up by droves. This is a Core i7 2600 here. 2600Ks are unlocked, and this board supports those fully. This board has all the latest features. It has military class components. That's their high capacity capacitors. That's the ones that are laying flat sideways, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. Solid ferrite chokes, super ferrite chokes is what they call theirs, and of course solid caps, the round standard ones that we've seen. That gives a very clean power source at all times, helps provide everything that these boards need to continue functioning for years on end. This also offers the OC Genie 2, which is simply a press of the button for overclocking right away, and of course SLI graphics support. This is the product box here that you'll pick up from the store. You'll see these on the shelves for about $220, $230 US and Canadian. Nice little presentation from the flap here on front. So we'll go ahead and open up this box and give you a look what's on the inside. Quick reference manual. We've got 4 90-degree SATA cables here that are white tip. Typical I/O shield. Your voltage leads that plug straight into the motherboard will show you those. Your SLI bridge or crossfire bridge. And they've provided an extra PCI USB 3.0 bracket that plugs in on a particular place on the motherboard. Panel headers for easy connecting. You just connect these to your front panel wiring inside your case, and those plug straight into the board. These always come in very handy and keep you from having to guess where you're supposed to put it, or if you have them oriented right. Your driver CD, quick installation guide, and of course any other things that you're going to need for setting up your software, and of course your user manual for setting up BIOS or in the hardware if you need be. Open up, take a look at the board itself. It comes in static plastic, is wrapped as it should. Alright, with the accessories out of the way here, you get a better look at the board. A couple stickers will come apply to your board. You want to carefully remove those from your socket here, and of course your PCI slots wherever they might be. But this will give you a better look at this board. It's very similar to the GD65 we reviewed in our P67 roundup. It was our favorite best bang for buck at 180. This one prices in at about 220, which is actually a really good price given that this one offers a little extra power support around the socket here. And this is where you'll see your high C caps that are laying flat. The silver round ones here are your standard high quality capacitors, the 100% solid state ones that everybody's been using as of late as a good replacement. Now this board supports up to 2133 megahertz DDR3, so it means it's going to overclock. For those that don't have to worry about it so much, or don't want to worry, the stuff we have here from Kingston, the Genesis series, has been tuned just specifically for Sandy Bridge. Like some of the other vendors, we've had really good results so far overclocking these boards. Now this one here again stands to overclock a little bit better than the GD65, which we're going to check out in testing. On the back here, you'll look at your channel, your analog channels for audio, 6 USB 3.0. Those are always an extra. They are backwards compatible, so you're not going to lose the function if you just have USB 2.0 or older 1.1 devices. Your optical and SPDIF out, and then if you have the older keyboards, use the serial round cables. There you go. As you can see, it has 3 PCI Express slots that does not support 3-way SLI, but the board does support 2-way SLI. The bottom port here is an extra port for your PCI Express cards that you might want to put to use. It's just an extra expansion. On the side here, you'll notice there's 6 SATA ports. There's 4 standard SATA 3 gigabit per second, and 2 6 gigabyte per second ports there as well. Now, if you recall the leads for overclocking, if you want to do some tuning to your system, that's these here. You can actually use those right here on this blue header. It allows you to measure your board's voltages if you want to do some high-end tweaking. We've seen this board in action at CES 2011 at MSI's MOA Overclocking Championship. We've seen some good numbers come off of these boards if you want to get downright crazy with the overclocking. And then, of course, at the bottom here is your power reset button, a OC Genie. Now, OC Genie has to be the easiest way to overclock we've seen to date. Simply press the button, restart your system, and when you come back, for instance, if you have a 2600K series processor, it'll automatically overclock it to 4.2 gigahertz. And that's pretty great for just one press of the button, letting the system configure itself. Now, this bracket here, of course, the USB bracket, has a proprietary slot here that will fit on one of these two here, and that gives you a little added extra USB 3.0 at the back if you don't already have enough. Again, backwards compatible to USB 2.0. And this one here actually supports THX True Studio Pro, so a little extra audio quality out of the board. We've seen them do quite well with low noise and a pretty well-rounded audio experience, especially if you're watching your movies on your desktop PC, which is not uncommon these days given the low price of 32-inch monitors. So that's one of the benefits of having a little higher-end audio. Otherwise, you'll note the only other 2 features worth mentioning are you have a 6 PCI pin auxiliary power port. That's to help these 2 slots out, and that's in part to some of the GTX 580s, GTX 590s, the dual GPU that we've seen come out. They are power hungry cards and they will draw lots of power from these sockets. So if you're doing some overclocking and you want to get a little extra out of your PCI and you want to ensure stability, that's your port for you. And then, of course, your 8-pin 12-volt auxiliary here at the top of your EPS. That's the power you're going to need if you're going to push the socket where you think it can go. So that's our preview of the MSI P67A-GD80 motherboard. We're sure you're going to want to know how this performs, so have a look at the rest of the review and see how it performs compared to the rest of the platforms we have. My name's Eric. Thank you very much for visiting Futurelooks. We'll see you again soon.